The average IQ of an ordinary person is 90, while the smartest person has an IQ of nearly 300. But obviously, intelligence will ultimately be limited by the structure of the human brain. So, when a person's mind possesses the ultimate computer-like ability, what will their IQ be? Limu doesn't know how to quantify this problem, but he will use proof of world-class mathematical problems, physics theories comparable to relativity, super black technologies that change the world, and so on, to tell people that this answer is unimaginable. Keywords of the novel. Ultimate Scholar without pop-ups. Download the complete collection of Ultimate Scholar TXT, and read the latest chapters of Ultimate Scholar. Chapter 1. Brain-Computer. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Brain-Computer. That's all for today's class. In the electromagnetics class of Class 1 in the Physics Department of Shanghai Jiao Tong University, as the bell rang for the end of class, Professor Wu Mengyuan, the head of the physics department, put down his chalk and turned to look at the students present. And most of the students looked at the complex electromagnetic formulas on the blackboard, with a numb expression on their faces. Is this the legendary electromagnetic mechanics? How come it's a billion different from what they learned in high school? Seeing the expressions of the students, Wu Mengyuan smiled and said, "It's really difficult to study electromagnetic mechanics during undergraduate studies. You don't have to put too much pressure on yourself when taking this course. First of all, remember that interest is the best teacher. Of course, as for whether you can generate interest, it depends on yourself. If you cannot observe its interesting aspect, then it will always be in a quantum state, and if you do, then it will collapse and you can grasp it." Most of the students still have a numb expression on their faces. Although they can understand the quantum mechanics terms spoken by Professor Wu, their minds are filled with Maxwell's formulas at this moment. The voice and smile of this father of electromagnetism seemed to transform into various symbols on the blackboard, silently mocking these weak chickens. Wu Mengyuan smiled. Perhaps sometimes watching the bewildered expressions of his students during teaching would also be one of his pleasures. But suddenly something came to mind and he said, "Oh, by the way, you can sign up for our school's physics competition in the next 2 weeks. If your ranking is good, you will have the opportunity to participate in the International College Physics competition in the future. This is a good opportunity to improve yourself. I recommend you to give it a try. Alright, class is over." Then Wu Mengyuan left the classroom. At this moment, the students below seemed to wake up from a dream and each packed their backpacks. It's time for dinner now. Damn it, why did I just apply to the physics department without thinking about it? Didn't I just get a perfect score in physics? Indeed, why did I enroll in the physics department? I also got full marks. Stop talking, will you go to the library after dinner? Go, if you don't learn anymore, let alone any competitions, you won't even pass the exams. Add me one. In the middle seat of the third row, several boys rose while packing their bags, and finally decided to go to the library to study together. As students of Shanghai Jiao Tong University, they are still very aware of the importance of learning. Especially in fundamental subjects like physics, whether one can fully keep up after learning will not be mentioned, but at least one can still keep up a bit. If one does not study, one can only ask 3 questions without knowing. At this moment, they looked at the last roommate together. "Li Mu, what did you say?" Although class has ended, Li Mu still sits in his seat, motionless. "Li Mu." Seeing him unresponsive, the roommates shouted again. Li Mu finally regained his senses and looked at his roommates before saying, "You guys go first. I have something to do." "What's up?" Several roommates exchanged a glance and immediately gathered around. "I'll make do, you kid won't be dating anymore, will you? You usually have a classroom, cafeteria, and dormitory at 3 p.m., but suddenly something happens." All 3 roommates looked suspicious. Li Mu rolled his eyes and said angrily, "We are all single dogs, why bother each other? I will go to the library later, and you can help me occupy a seat and that's it." It's good if you're not in a relationship, that's what makes you a good brother. Okay, I'll help you take a seat later. A few roommates nodded in satisfaction. The boy from their physics department wanted to find a girlfriend, which was a hellish mode. If this boy really found a girlfriend, it would probably become big news in their class. Subsequently, the three of them stopped talking nonsense and left the classroom together. Watching them leave, Li Mu shook his head helplessly and glanced at the classroom again. There were basically not many people left. Then he closed his eyes and immersed his mind once again. In that mind, he could clearly see that there was a progress bar that had reached 99%. Li Mu is not sure how this progress bar appeared, but after waking up this morning, he found that he had this thing in his mind. But what can be certain is that when it reaches 100%, something will happen. According to time calculations, it will soon reach 100%. Perhaps in response to his expectations, the progress bar suddenly jumped to 100%. The next moment, a voice suddenly rang out in his mind. Interface upgrade completed. Hello host, I will be serving you next. You can communicate directly with me in your mind. Li Mu was momentarily stunned as the plot unfolded. Does he have a system now? And probably upon hearing his thoughts, the voice in his mind rang out again. You can call me the system, I am the intelligence of the brain-computer, helping you better utilize your brain-computer. Brain-computer. What functions do you have? Although surprised to have obtained this thing, Li Mu felt that he needed to first understand the functions of this mental computer. The system said, the brain computer can control your neural current, stimulate the frequency of your neuron connections, and thereby enhance your thinking speed and efficiency. And the computing power of the brain computer can also assist you in deducing all problems. At the same time, you can easily achieve multi-threaded thinking and the ability to multitask. However, due to limitations in computing power, the current evaluation of the computer's computing power level is level 1, which is almost equivalent to a real i3.530 processor. i3.530. Li Mu pursed his lips, this is some ancient treasure. But then he pondered, does having a level mean he can level up? The system directly explained, yes, the computing power level can be upgraded, and the upgrade method is also very simple. As long as the host keeps thinking, it can accumulate the necessary energy for upgrading. At the same time, the system will also provide tasks for the host. When the host completes the task, it will be able to accumulate energy faster. The current upgrade progress is 0 out of 1000. What changes will occur after upgrading? Li Mu asked. The computing power of mental computers will become stronger, providing hosts with higher thinking speed and efficiency, making it easier for hosts to deduce problems. Other aspects require hosts to explore on their own. That's it. Li Mu couldn't help but look forward to the upgraded computer in his mind, so he said, then. Let's start issuing tasks. Release of computing power upgrade task. As the sound of the system sounded, a panel introduction appeared in Li Mu's mind. Read a book, then think, task introduction. In books, there is beauty like jade, and in books, there is a golden house. Books are the ladder of human progress. Obtaining thinking from books is the first step in the host's growth. Task requirement. Read carefully and keep thinking for 72 hours. Current progress. 0 hours. Seeing this task, Li Mu's eyes immediately darkened. Good guy, not only do you have to read books, but also keep thinking for 72 hours. If he watches for 8 hours every day, he has to watch for 9 whole days. But this lazy thought lingered in his mind for less than 3 seconds before passing in an instant. Nowadays, there are cheats, and if you still remain lazy, it will be difficult for immortals to save. Immediately, he stood up and put on his backpack, leaving the classroom. Next, eat and then soak in the library. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. The spirit of knowledge starts to shine. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. What else can we do in Chapter 3? Let's just read it that way. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Is there anyone who can't do Chapter 4? You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Chapter 5. Amazing Rewards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Chapter 6. Extraction of underlying programs in the universe and proof of Adama's conjecture. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Chapter 7. Announcement of small exam results. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Chapter 8. Adaptive variational inequality problems in Hilbert space. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Chapter 9, just a few seconds of coughing and coughing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Chapter 10. My surname is written upside down. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator.